Do you think, like, I'm just thinking of a, future 5, 10, 15 years ahead where, you have hardcore Harry Potter fans, Doctor Who fans, Lord of the Rings, whatever there is out there, and all these different brands and yeah, big stories, you can say. They have a game already, and they will probably have a blockchain based game in the future. And I can only imagine a future where, okay, if all these different Comic Cons and people buying a bunch of physical dresses and whatnot to dress up as Harry Potter or whatever you want to dress up on. If all that goes online and you can own different digital assets in your wallet and you can show that, you can flash that to your friends or family if you want to do that. Basically, what I'm saying is, do you think we will see a world where people are more preoccupied about what they hold in their digital wallet and flash that, show that to the world, instead of right now where people buy expensive cars, houses, boats, or whatever they buy in the physical world to show off their wealth? Do you think that
Hmm.
will happen, especially with these games coming out?
Very good question. I think so. But I would say, aren't we already, like more focused
Mm,
about what the neighbor actually owns than what we possess ourselves, and what is again true ownership, right? And I understand
mm,
with buying a new boat, buying a car, but I hear you. I definitely think we will see in the future. I would say one of the cool things I love about blockchain is that suddenly we see this new economic infrastructure, and
mm,
suddenly giving, I would say, normal people or poor people actually a chance to suddenly reach, the skies, right, and possess
mm,
something with a very low scarcity. And I think, especially within some of the physical versus digital, I still think we need to see some, where you both have physical and digital. But what I really like about the digital version is, for me, it's much more transparent because, like baseball cards, we often get the comment that, I would rather have a physical card than actually a digital card. And
right.
for me, it's just like, okay, so what is the argument for that, right? I can feel it. Okay, cool. So if you want to trade with somebody, you have to take a plane and you have to fly there and you have to do the trade, unless you actually trust the post office to send your 100,000 baseball card, and trust it will get there. And also you have to
Mm,
trust the person actually sending you the money. That's a lot of trust, right? And this is what I love about blockchain, that you can do that in a trusted environment. And again,
mm,
digital, you can trade with whoever in the whole world. And especially the circulation, it's much more transparent, that you actually know with the physical cards, right? You don't know actually if you are the only one owning Babe Ruth,
mm,
whatever it is. Like it for me, it's just like much more transparent and much more secure to have
mm,
the digital aspect of it. And I think we will see a lot of people flashing, and we can already see that in the metaverses. We can see that people owning a pair of Gucci's, which there's only five of, and and brag about this, right? And say, I'm the only one in this metaverse running around, like in Fortnite or whatever it is. And this is why I really think the big companies should try and adapt to this technology much faster, because they will unlock an
mm,
unseen kind of revenue stream. And this is what we can see with the approaches we get from big brands.
mm,
How can we unlock all this digital revenue? Because we have these kind of assets, we would really like to enter into this space. And how can we do this, or how can we combine selling a physical item and then suddenly also get a digital one, which you can then brag about in the metaverses or in your wallet, right? Just saying, just through your phone with the Apple Wallet or whatever it is, just like
mm,
slide through that whole thing. And this
mm,
is where I think, especially DeFi means will meet gaming,
mm,
because until now we've had like blockchain gaming or just in general gaming on one side, and art has now also become exploded with the whole thing. And then we
mm,
have normal kind of like financial services using blockchain.
mm,
And the problem is, they have like run in parallel the last 5 years, right? And actually never crossed each other. And I think right now we see with gaming, we see with art, we see a lot of these kind of things, and NFTs. And this is what I said back when I started this whole thing. When I talked about this will be the next big thing, right? And I'm happy I was right, but also we are seeing now that suddenly it's unlocking so much revenue, and suddenly we're seeing payment gateways or payment providers working with the digital card, the credit card, actually also can contain NFTs. This means a lot to me because this is where you can brag about it. This is where you can unlock. You can actually, stake your NFT, earn some yield. You can actually use that yield maybe to pay for your expenses or your groceries down in the supermarket. So for me, this is just like mind blowing, and this is like I hope that a lot of these big companies will jump on this wagon, as quickly as possible
Mm.
to see how can they actually unlock this whole potential, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where things can go so wild, and this is the world that you live in. But I think most people don't recognize or realize how big this can really be. I mean, imagine a day or the day, because it will come, I'm sure, when Fortnite or the Counter Strike or whatever big game there is right now adopts this.
Yeah.
You have millions, if not billions, of people starting to be aware, at least, that this is a possibility. And then
Yeah.
what will happen is that they will get exposed to, as you say, DeFi. They will, they have these NFTs, and then, okay, how do I trade it? How do I stake it to get yield? They start getting sucked in to this entire ecosystem. Like all the plumbing and all the infrastructure is being done and has been done in parallel, as you say, for 5 years,
Yeah.
and all that unlocked potential is just gonna explode. I'm sure when a Fortnite or a Counter Strike just flips the switch, basically.
Absolutely, because this is why we have approached them the last couple of years, right? Saying first of all, you know, just what we know of officially is that $2 billion every year is what people are losing because of hacking, or they are getting scammed from selling in-game collectible items
Mm.
to others. Just like send me $200 on PayPal or whatever it is, right? And I will send you this knife I found in Counter Strike. The issue is that this is $2 billion people are getting scammed for. What we know of, right? What people actually are reporting, I think
Oh,
this is like 10 times higher, because
yeah.
often people are just like, no, okay, I've lost it. It's my own fault, maybe, or whatever. I clicked a link. There's a lot of things with hacking. I think this is where we can really avoid that whole thing with blockchain.
Mm.
But again, what I really would like the big companies, first of all, to help us solve that problem, because we've solved it, right? The problem is we don't have a big company like Activision or some of these big platforms where you can actually integrate our technology and avoid that whole scamming using the smart contracts. But
Mm.
what I really would like them to see is the opportunity to unlocking the interoperability. So my game can be connected to them through the blockchain technology. So these kind of Gucci's I'm wearing, I can actually run in Call of Duty, I can run in Fortnite, I can do whatever it is, like
Counter
bragging
Strike running
about
around with Gucci.
I just killed you in Call of Duty or in Counter Strike, right? Look at my Gucci's, yeah. And actually, that metadata will be recorded. You want this tournament or you want this round, whatever it is, in your Gucci's, right? Running around in a leopard suit of Gucci or whatever it could be. Just like brands in general, I think this will be hilarious, and especially if you can use that interoperability either as the item itself or like a multi kind of NFT that could be adapted and actually be used in different kind of games. And this is what we're working on right now. Behind the scenes, how can we make sure that our assets not only can work within our own games, but also across other games? How can we be connected to other games where this
Mm.
NFT can be used in it, and so on and so on? And I think this is where the true value will also be. That
Mm.
it's a massive potential if the interoperability could be integrated. Because again, if you're tired of playing one game, often it's just a waste of money. And again, when we're looking at this whole, we're
Mm.
talking about the waste, resources, the environment. I think this is one of the things, right? We need to make sure that the future of gaming will be so you can take the same kind of asset and use it in multiple games.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's just a massive amount of resources
Yeah.
and a waste of money, because again, going out to do user acquisition
Mm.
is really, really expensive,
Yeah.
especially within gaming, right? We're chasing the same amount of people, especially if it's within the same kind of genre of gaming.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we could we just need to onboard them, and then suddenly you can expose them saying that, you can now use your NFT also in this game and this game and this game. So this will could
That
actually change the whole user acquisition ecosystem,
mm.
I think.